Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I have with me the TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II. In this video, I want to talk about why this lens is the best budget street photography lens for Sony APS-C mirrorless system. Let's do this! Before we start, here are some important disclaimers. I have no connection or affiliation with TTArtisan. They did send me this lens, their latest 35 f1.8 Mark II, and I do get to keep this lens after making this video. However, I made it very clear to TTArtisan from the start that they have no control whatsoever on what I want to say in this video. This is not exactly a review of this lens. I didn't have the time to do an extensive review, but I did bring this lens out with my Sony NEX-6, which is quite an old camera, to do some street photography sessions. And based on my experience using this lens, I will share the things that I like and dislike about this TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II. There are many things that I really like about this TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II. Number one, I love the compact form factor of this lens. It is so small, so compact, and it is so light. It weighs only 176 grams, and it matches smaller mirrorless camera bodies like this NEX-6 very, very well. TTArtisan claims that they managed to shrink down the size further compared to the original Mark I version, and to me that's really impressive. Number two, this lens has solid construction. The lens barrel is made of full metal construction. It feels very solid in hand, feels very reassuring. There are no creaky parts. It does not feel like a cheap lens at all, despite its cheap budget price tag. And number three, I really love that this lens, it manages to go really close, about 0.4 meters close up minimum focusing distance, and this is a huge improvement compared to the Mark I version, which was 0.6 meters. This allows you to do a lot more. Going closer to the subject, it opens more creative composition options. Number four, what I really like about this TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II, it is a very sharp lens. According to TTArtisan, the lens construction consists of 10 elements in 7 groups, and they also use some special elements, namely 2 high-index lenses and extra low dispersion lens. Looking at the images that come up from this lens, they appear to be really sharp, full of fine details, very, very good contrast, even shooting at wide open f1.8 aperture. And what really impressed me is that the sharpness and the image quality is consistent from edge to edge and corner to corner. For such a budget lens, having such an amazing sharpness across the entire frame, to me, that is really incredible. Also, I really like the rendering of this lens, especially the bokeh quality. Looking at the out of focus area, it is smooth, it is pleasing, it doesn't look look distracting, it is not nervous, and I love this creamy bokeh effect. Combine it with the sharp in-focus area rendering, you can create the 3D pop. Images look really organic, they have this sense of realism, they look natural. Overall, I just love how the images look coming out from this TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II. Number 5. Lens flow control. This TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II, it manages lens flows very well. There is a little bit of distortion. If you look at the lines at the far edges of the frame, they are not perfectly straight. There's a little bit of barrel distortion, but that is not too serious and it can be easily corrected in post. If you shoot this lens against strong sources of light, you do see a little bit of traces of flare, ghosting, and haze, but none of these problems are too serious, and honestly, they are non-deal breakers. I've seen worse flare resistance in more expensive lenses. I only have one complaint for this TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II, which is chromatic aberration. Shooting at high contrast situations, you do get to see very visible purple fringing, especially at wide open f1.8. Purple fringing can be quite distracting and they may not be easily corrected in post. Stopping down to f2.8, things get a little bit better, but if you want to get rid of most of the purple fringing, just stop down to f4, f5.6, then should fix the problem. Other than that, I don't really have any other issues with this lens. There's nothing much to complain for such a budget price tag. It is only $125 US. You do get a lot out of this lens. It is sharp, it is well constructed, it renders beautiful bokeh. Generally, the lens flows are very well controlled. There's nothing not to like about this lens. Yes, there's purple fringing, but that's just one problem, and honestly, at its price, I think that's forgiven. I think TTArtisan knock it out of the park again with the latest 35 f1.8 Mark II lens. If you are a 15mm equivalent shooter, which is a popular lens for street photographers like myself, I do find that this lens is such an enjoyable lens to use and it delivers fantastic results for your street photography. I do hope to see more and more budget, high quality lenses from TTArtisan. Hey, I think things are changing. We don't have to pay premium prices for lenses that are well constructed and that can deliver fantastic results. That's all I have to share about this TTArtisan 35 f1.8 Mark II. I personally think that it is one of the best budget lenses for street photography if you are using Sony mirrorless APS-C system. If you found my sharing beneficial, if you've enjoyed looking at my photographs, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal, or you can join as a member on this channel. Any support, any contribution will go a long way, will definitely help me to continue making more content and publish them right here. Until the next one, please go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.